I don't need a microphone because I'm very loud, but yeah, I'll use it anyway. Hi, thanks for having me. I learned how to do Keynote just for this, so you're welcome. Now is good, is what I'm talking about today. I should also, heads up, warn you, I talk a lot with my hands. I'm sorry, it might get a bit distracting. You'll get used to it. It's very drama teachery. It's fine, don't worry. This morning, I'd like to, no, I won't, that's stupid. Very good joke though. This and more you can expect. Absolute genius. This is me. This is a very good photo of myself. You're welcome. So, yes, good morning. Oh. Sorry, I'm just looking, looking at my talk. I'm like, oh, these are not my notes. Oh well. What's great is that I now get to freestyle the entire speech. No. Hi, hello, good thanks. My name is Balloch. Every month I get to do this incredible thing, and I'm going to tell you what I do, and your immediate response is going to be, no, thank you, pass. Sounds like a nightmare. And that's super normal. That is like a very normal response. I'm then going to explain to you why you're wrong. Because there is nothing more fun than having a white, cisgendered, able-bodied man explain to you how you're incorrect on a Friday morning. Sorry. So every month, I did this last week. It's my favorite thing to do in the entire world. I do a show with my best friend called Gays of Our Lives. Very dramatic. It is what it says on the label. It is, it's a soap opera. It's a gay soap opera that Justin and I get to do. We play every single character there is in the soap opera. It has twists, it has turns, it has character arcs, it has interweaving story threads. Every time we do it, it ends with a cliffhanger. And Justin and I make the entire thing up on the spot every single time we do it, which I get sounds vile to most people, but it's always very good because we're very good at what we do. It is an absolute joy to do it, and it always ends up quite good because we're very good at what we do. I don't know if you know this, but I am in fact an icon. We're very good at what we do. We're very good at a few fundamental principles that make improv very good, but they're also fundamental principles that you guys, you people can also take away with you as well. Those fundamental principles sort of underpin improv, they underpin life. Those fundamental principles are making choices, listening, and mitigating fear. So this is the first one, and I know this is a lot. Feel free to read at your own time. So it is that. In improv, we make conscious choices on stage all the time. In life, we tend to make a whole bunch of subconscious choices of what routes we take to go to work. We often take the same route to work every day. Whether or not we're going to have wine or water with dinner, or routines are essentially just a series of choices that we don't make anymore, but we still have those choices. In improv, we are conscious about all of the choices that we're always making. And I truly believe that in life, and this is where this sort of mouthful, but I didn't have an easier way to say this, but once you start to become aware of the choices that you have, the fact that you take the same route to work every day, you can choose, hi, thanks for coming. The fact that you choose to like use the same route to work every day. You can choose to do a different work. You can choose to have a water instead of a wine. You can choose to get up 5 minutes earlier and meditate. They're all choices that you actually have. So the moment that you actually start realizing all of the choices that you make, you can start to make all of those subconscious choices conscious choices. And then from there, you can start to make better choices, like if you want to get fit, whatever goals you have. Almost all sort of like positive change is incremental, and I really believe that it starts with sort of like understanding that you can change all of the subconscious choices into conscious choices. That's what we do on stage. A good example is, and this stupid thing happened in a show as well. Justin walked into a scene, the lights came up, and Justin said, "Oh, the ship's ready, Captain." I have like 300 different like options of anything I can possibly say then. The easiest thing to do, the best thing to do, is to just sort of like use yes and go with him and go, "Oh, okay, cool. Well, he's assuming that I'm a captain of a ship. It'll just be easy to just sort of go, all right, Jericho, that treasure's not going to find itself. Let's set sail." That is very good accent work, by the way. You're welcome again. So those sort of choices we have in improv. Improv has just taught me how to sort of recognize that everything is a choice, and then has taught me how to make it. So that's making choices. Be a boat. I've run this exercise with kids. Kids are great at this exercise. Adults are trash. Adults suck at this exercise. They suck so much. It's just be a boat. It's just be, and it's, I don't want to say all men, but it is always a man. And it is always a man called Gary okay, so the exercise is just be a boat. What do you think is the most common question that I get from a Gary?
Which model?
Did you just say, who said that? Which model? Yes! Fucking Gary! Yes! That is like literally the most common question is what kind of a boat? Why would it matter? Why would it possibly matter? I have eyes, Gary. I can see that you're just a meat sack wrapped around calcium tubes. Even Meryl Streep could not convince me that she is in fact a catamaran. Just be a boat, Gary. Just that. I ran that exercise with kids, and a 9-year-old went, done. Another kid walked over and went, I'm a flag. Didn't even ask him. Perfect. Just be a boat. There is like there's a reason why people like Gary do ask that question of like what kind of a boat. And it's a stupid reason, but it's a reason. And the reason is adults don't want to get things wrong. Even in that context, which is stupid in that context, because I get that you're a human. You can't possibly be a boat. But even that, humans don't want to get things wrong. Adults don't want to get things wrong. Kids haven't really learnt what failure is, and they haven't really learnt what fear is. So they haven't really learnt what a fear of failure is. So this, so quick, so easy. So just be a boat. If you can take anything away from today, other than like the leftover Danishes, it's, which I might steal as well, it's make choices, just be a boat. You're probably also, failure is like this fascinating beast as well, and that like adults tend to think about failure incorrectly. Creatives not so much, but adults in general tend to think that if you try something and you get it wrong, then that's a fail. But if you try something and you get it wrong and you learn from it, learning is never a failure, so you can't possibly fail if you are learning from it. So you may as well try. If all you're going to do is learn, you may as well try. I managed to sneak a Hamilton reference in because I could. If you stand for nothing, bird, then what'll you fall for? Make a choice. Be a boat. In comedy, we call it embracing the bomb. The bomb is failure. Embrace the bomb. Embrace failure. Because all you can do is learn from it after that. This again is from an icon. It's me, I wrote that. And it's true, make choices with the boldness of a straight white male stand-up comedian approaching the stage with something to get off his chest. I don't know if you've ever seen one of those people, but boy, are they confident. And they will walk into a room and they, yep, I'm ready. Make choices like that. Lord knows they are, you may as well. Disc 7, listening. Listening is by far and away the hardest thing to teach and put into practice. Our shows work. Gaze of Our Lives works because I am actively listening to Justin for a full hour. Not just because I think he's very funny and interesting, although those are two very good reasons. Mostly because everything he says is a clue as to what is going on. I've taught active listening to a whole bunch of different people. In fact, we can do like a little workshop now. Just turn to somebody that's next to you, and this is not complicated. You're just going to talk for 10 seconds. Turn to the person next to you, and I want you to tell them exactly what you did this week in great detail for 10 seconds. The only caveat is you're both going to talk at the same time. Go. Okay, stop. Right. I love that I start people and they're like, no, I'm going to keep going. This is probably the simplest, most important thing that I teach when it comes to listening. You can't currently be listening to someone if you are currently talking. You can't listen and talk at the same time. You can't do it. You just cannot do it. I taught this to a group of people at the ATO, and again, an elderly man, probably called Gary. I said, you can't possibly be listening and talking at the same time. He went, oh, and noted it down. And I thought, that's great that he's noting that down, but that is terrifying that he is noting that down. It's so simple, and yet, so this is the second lesson that I want to teach you as well. Same two people, have a chat again, but one of you is going to keep on talking as fast as you possibly can for the next 10 seconds about what you did. And the other person, I want to multiply 78 by 25. Go. And stop. Who managed to get an answer on the multiplication? No one. Great. This is the second lesson that I want to teach you. You can't possibly be listening to someone to the best of your ability, as actively and as productively as you possibly can if you're currently doing or thinking about something else. And I know you could be the best person at multitasking, but your brain can't do two complex things at the same time. The human brain is wonderful, and it's absolutely amazing, and it's complex, and it's intricate, and it's fascinating. It can't do two things at the same time. A good example is if you've ever had a panic attack or an anxiety attack, point at things in the room and say anything that they're not as fast as you possibly can without doing a pattern. So like Ace Ventura, 1996, Baccarat, my grandmother, like just point at anything. Your brain can't have a panic attack or an anxiety attack at the same time that it's generating random thoughts. So it just does the thing that you're telling it to do. and just generates random thoughts. So if you're ever having a panic or an anxiety attack, do that for like 10 seconds and then it's done. Because your brain is stupid, but all brains are stupid. It's a really difficult lesson to learn as well because I think people think, oh, well, I can answer this email and listen to this person at the same time. You can't. When we're doing Gaze of Our Lives, we cannot be thinking about anything other than what is happening right in front of us. We have to be listening to the other person. If we're not listening to the other person, the show falls apart and it's quite boring. Heads up, that's like the worst that can happen in improv as well, is that the show just kind of sucks a bit. That's it. Like, no one's gonna die. A good example of how well we listen to each other is, anyway, listening. So this is what happens when I forget what my speech is. Justin, the lights came up for one scene and Justin looked at me and he said, "You've never looked more beautiful." I have a myriad of options there, but I decided to choose the one that was easiest and the one that was right in front of me. Because I was listening to what Justin said and because I was listening to how he said it as well, I knew everything I needed to know for that scene to work. I know that we're probably close, like relationship-wise. I don't know what the actual, like, whether it's a brother or sister or a mother or whatever, but I know that like the two of us are quite close as people. I can just sort of assume that. I know that I look beautiful. I know that that's not normal, so this must be like a special occasion or a special event that I have dressed up for. That could be anything. This relationship and that specific moment could be anything, but it's probably my wedding day and he's probably my mother, which is exactly what it was. And I get that from listening as much as I possibly can to Justin. Our shows are never boring. Come, they're very good. I don't know what that slide was for. This is what, I love Keynote, but you can't delete things as you go. Thank you so much for coming to my talk today. Thanks for coming to Creative Mornings today. If you leave with anything, leave with these stupidly great sound bites. Embrace the bomb, be a boat, and listen like a thief. Celeste Hedby once said that all of the ways that you can listen to someone, all of the ways that you can show to listen to someone, like nodding your head, repeating back things that the person has said, maintaining eye contact, asking questions, all of those things are wonderful ways to show somebody that you're listening to them. And they're all bullshit. Because you don't need to show someone that you're listening to them if you are, in fact, listening to them. She goes on to say that you should enter every conversation as though you have something to learn from it, because you do. In improv, we call it listening like a thief. So listen like a thief, embrace the bomb, be a boat. Thank you.